A recession is a period of, and this is a key word, sustained economic decline, right? And it's typically coupled with a high unemployment rate. It has to be sustained, and we haven't experienced that yet. What we do, we help people understand their cost of money. We help people understand financial arbitration within vehicles like these.
Ooh.
Insurance is really just a way to transfer risk. You're transferring the risk from yourself to somebody or an entity that's a little bit more capable of handling that worst case scenario.
Okay.
When you pass, the people that you leave behind, they're going to have a financial hit more than likely.
Yeah.
And so this is a way to
It costs money to put grandma in the ground, man.
yes, especially if grandma's paying bills.
That point right there about who controls the interest rates determines everything else. And we've already seen in this country, the person that is going to get the shortest end of the stick every single time is going to be the individual consumer. And they have the power to say, abolish the Fed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
The Fed, bro.
Because that is that's how you're losing so much money.
They're not even federal.
You're not even federal.
They're
This is a
privately
private.
owned.
Yes,
You know what I'm
private.
saying?
Come on,
It's a private
man.
corporation.
Just got to follow the money, right?
If we go into feds and the banks, we're going to be here for another 2 hours.
Yeah,
2-3
but I
hours.
think it's
I'm
important
with
to
it.
keep like that overstanding.
Hey y'all, good morning. You are tuning in to the Morning Melanin Podcast, waking the people up with candid combos about business, culture, healing, community, and all the things. I am your host, Be Conscious, and you are tuning in to a Bank On It edition episode, discussing keys to achieving wealth and financial solvency in our community. This episode is brought to you by YP Studios, a content hub for all things Our Palette. All content is produced, edited, and directed in part by Culture X Media, and the entire show is curated by the Our Palette Network. Let's buy black the right way.
Hey.
My goodness.
What's up?
What's going on? I literally have so much to unpack today. I hope we get through it all. Like, there's random tangents to get through. I think I'm going to start off with some house rules real quick. Yeah, I think it's some house rules. Okay, boom. First of all, man, I really appreciate all of y'all. Real shit.
You got to put that down.
Yeah, I know. I'm tall as shit, though.
We could move it up.
That's as high as it goes. Let me see. All right, can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I appreciate all of y'all. Like, Dobes can tell you, I told her last week when we had to do this shoot, I was like, Dobes, I'm tired. Like, I'm about to close my books for the year. Like, why are you bothering me? She was like, yo, Benji, I got this deal. Let's do this. First of all, honestly, it was my fault because I was the one that sent you the damn Instagram post in the first place.
How am I not supposed to capitalize on it?
Right.
I need a video shot. Matter of fact, I need 10 video shots.
A couple weeks ago, I sent Adobe a Instagram post about a entrepreneur's grant for entrepreneurs age 21 and up, and I said the worst they can say is no. And then she was like, all right, cool, let's run a deal, put together a package for her. And I was like, yeah, let's run like 10 brands, knock them out. 10 friends, you got your co-op folks, I got some of my folks. And I was like looking at the calendar, I was like, damn, do I really want to do this shit? Like, I'm just tired. Like, I got finals and shit. I got vacation to plan for, etc. But you know what? I was like, this is why we're here. Like, this is why we're here, for community, for empowerment, for growth. Like, I'm gonna remember this. When we make our first million. I'm like, you remember that one time we did the damn grant? Was trying to get them $2,500. No, it was worth it.
We're going to drop it. Someone's going to get this $2,500. Ideally, all
someone's
of us
gonna
get it.
Yeah.
Regardless, it's a win.
Yeah. But nah, man, I really appreciate it. Like, coming together. Like, this is like my swan song for the year. It's like the last thing I'm recording besides next week. Like, the last thing. So y'all are
I put something else on your calendar.
finale.
I like that.
If it's before December 17th, it's a hard maybe. After that, it's a hard no.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's go through some house rules, man. House rules. First and foremost, if you mess up on your words, you have to take a shot.
Wow.
So if you stumble, mumble, stutter,
Wow.
lose your train of thought,
Wow.
Wow.
we got Nino over there with a shot at tequila ready.
So that's not counterproductive? No.
Absolutely not.
That causes
Wow.
more stumbling.
I would think so.
Yeah.
Shout out to Nina.
Yeah.
Round with Danny.
If you have a tangent, or if you feel like you're about to go down a rabbit hole, you point your finger up to the sky and say tangent. Yes.
He gonna be pointing a lot.
I'm pointing a lot. All right, bet.
That man gonna be like this.
Tangent.
Yes.
Tangent.
My dance.
When if you interrupt somebody, it happens during conversation or cut someone off, you just say, sorry to cut your wisdom, XYZ, I would like to say this, or I have a rebuttal, whatever. I think you're wrong, whatever.
Okay.
Sorry to cut your wisdom. Don't agree to disagree. Agree to agree.
Thank you. I like that. I hate agreeing to disagree.
Yeah.
Right. For what?
Why are you disagreeing? Why do we have dissonance? We can agree to have different opinions, but why are we disagreeing? We can agree that Andy believes in X and I believe in Y. That's fine. But we are in an agreement.
True. I'll be honest here. I do. Oh, like my style. Joe knows me. If there's a fine line, I'm trying to get you on my side. So if you agree to have different opinions, it's not gonna be enough for me. So it's gonna be a tangent.
It's gonna be.
No, because I'm going to really need you to get to the bottom to it to like explain to me
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
you feel like we're not on the same page.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Because I just said something that's fact. So
We all smart here. So.
That's perfect.
The blackboard is used for defining things. The blackboard is a digital element, so it'll go in post-production. Say, for example, we need to define something like what is culture? How is wealth defined? I'm gonna ask each of y'all that. What does wealth mean to you? Right? How do you define it? So the blackboard will be a digital element that's gonna pop up. We don't believe in whiteboards around here. Soundpad, it's right here. It's for trolling. So we have a bunch of stuff here. Yeah. We have this one. So we got a couple of things.
Not Mario.
Level up.
If someone says something crazy now. Yeah. We have. Yeah, that's important. If there's just a hard no on everything, if there's a consensus, I'm gonna run this one.
all right.
But other than that, be yourself. Like we're gonna jump right into this. Today we're talking about debt, recessions, and life insurance.
Cool.
Jump right in. Oh man, it's December
Happy
4th?
holidays.
December 4th.
December 4th, I
Yeah,
believe.
we got the decorations behind us.
Right. Very festive. Very festive. How was your year? How was your year?
It was fast, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But it was probably the fastest year I've ever experienced.
Andy, let's start with you.
They seem to be getting faster. I agree with Joe. It was fast. There was a lot of change for me, honestly. Relationally, business-wise, kind of where I see my trajectory going. It was really good. I think I gained a lot of clarity this year. I think each year previous is a launching pad for the next. And I don't know about y'all, but the way I carry on, especially my December, my end of the year, it is currently it's 2023.
Right.
I have
Yes.
to live like that. I don't.
Why are we starting New Year's resolutions in January? Why would you do that?
Yeah,
It's too late.
So it started. I think one thing I want to give myself kudos for. I have been more consistent in the gym. Not as swole as Austin, but I'm getting there. But I've been more consistent. So the health is wealth is a big part of. And it was something that it was intentional. I was very, very much intentional about it. So I loved 2022.
Cool.
Blessings.
Mr. Joe?
2022 was nice, did a little bit more traveling than I typically do. And I was just talking to Ben earlier. We were saying more money isn't always more problems, but it's definitely different problems. Problems that you're not usually privy to when you're less fluid or liquid rather. But yeah, I mean, it was definitely a decent year. I would say, I know I look a little older than I look, but than I am. But I just turned 25, and
He's
I feel
a
like
baby.
I just hit some type of quarter life crisis
Oh man.
that I had to get over the hump of. It's just like,
Yeah.
especially when you're not like going the traditional route with your career or anything. You have to just focus in and realize that literally your life is in your hand. Like you make or break control. Everything.
Yeah.
So that was just a little bit of a hump to get over. It's something that I hadn't really experienced or thought I would have to experience. I just saw myself as a little bit more indestructible in years past. But it's definitely a wake-up call. And similar to what Andy said, this past year is definitely putting us on a different trajectory for this coming year. I know we always say it, but and y'all gonna see, it's gonna be definitely one for the books. 2023.
Yeah.
Gonna be a huge year. That's gonna really set the stage for the rest of my life. So yeah, that's it.
Love to hear it. Dopes.
I'm up.
Yeah.
2022 was, on a short end, was lit. On the longer end was a process. Like 2021, a lot of things had to break down for me. I kind of had to sit through myself for the first 6 months to as it relates to my business and how we're going to really launch this and get this out to the peoples, my co-op. But I'm just so excited for 2023. 2022 is actually my last year of being 20, in my 20s. So I'm about to really I'm trying to retire in 2023 from,
Hold on. I gotta get this down. You gotta clap it up. 30.
It's not easy, man. It's not easy. They be trying me. They be trying, but I'm blessed and highly favored, and just really loving on my community, and just really so impressed with how my community continues to show up for me. Whether it's family by blood or just people that I met in person for the first time this year.
Yeah.
Pointing at Benji.
Hey, let us know what's happening for the 30th though.
Yo, man, I need to figure it out, because I'm I went from having a party in Atlanta to having a party in Tulum to just going to the woods and not talking to y'all.
Right.
But I don't know. We are going to figure that out.
Okay. Maybe
in January. There's so many other things going on, but I'm the 30th is going to be lit, but it's also going to be the official launch of my co-op. So the co-op is my brand. Well, the brand is my lifestyle, so it's just gonna all to each other. You know what I'm saying?
Talk about it. That's a great segue. Let's go ahead and go right back around. Talk about the brand. What you got?
All right, my name's Adobe, and I'm the CEO and founder of Deep Roots Co-op. We're a co-op where our small businesses offer deals to our local consumers. So, because it's a co-op, the members are owners. The more you put in, the more you shop, the more you offer a deal, the more you're able to get out from the co-op in the form of a dividend at the end of the year.
Oh, wow.
This is my way of, getting the community to work. The black community alone has $1 trillion in circulation, but we have really nothing to show for it. And just in general, we have black-owned businesses, woman-owned businesses, Italian-owned businesses.
Everywhere.
Every small business is welcome, because small businesses run our communities. So
they run the culture too.
All of it. So if we don't have a way for our people to go to the small businesses and be like, hey, I'm your best consumer, give me a deal, because I'm your best consumer, we're not really able to track that dollar and really show the value in terms of what the community can actually show up to do for the small businesses.
Right.
During COVID, we lost a bunch of small businesses.
Yes.
And everyone's like, where'd they go? And it's like, well, you didn't shop with them.
Yeah.
You didn't shop with them. So.
Yeah.
Really being able to have a meeting place and that ownership model really gets the community going, because as a local consumer myself, I'm always looking for a deal. That's the reality situation. I need everyone to lower their price. And as a small business owner, I need the best consumers, because the best consumers keep coming back and they bring their friends. That's money in my pocket.
Oh, you spitting right now, though.
No,
Is it a platform? Is it what's the outlet?
So right now, I'm building out the co-op through my real life.
Okay.
When I travel, where I eat, who I hang out with, we have the deals. Big plans for 2023, 2024 is to move to have the platform on a physical app, as well as physical locations. And that's a whole nother investment movement side. But when you see me, see the bracelet, what would Deep Roots do? That's where you know that the deal is around, and you got to shout me out.
I love it.
I like that.
Let's swing back around, man. What's the brand? Let's let the people know what y'all got going on.
Is this a tag team thing?
Yeah, dude. We could do one at a time. I mean, y'all have different roles, right? You know.
We do.
Talk about it.
Okay.
I'll let the youngin' go.
Okay, so my name is Rojo Okala, co-founder of Wealthline Consultants Incorporated. We are a financial services brokerage that is geared towards the Black community, specifically young Black entrepreneurs. And we focus on ways to help our people create and sustain that wealth that Adobe just mentioned, that over $1 trillion that people of color are able to generate for themselves, but also to spend. There's ways to sustain that wealth over generations, and that's the only way for our community to truly grow. So we explore those techniques that really other communities have used for centuries and other corporations have used, and we just show people how to do the same thing and put them in the right position to be able to not only get the knowledge but apply the knowledge, which is the only time knowledge is actually power. So yeah, in a nutshell, that's who we are. That's what we do. I don't know if anyone wants to take it away from here and cover anything I missed.
I think you're hitting all the spots. I mean, my name's Andy Okala. So yeah, same last name. We're brothers.
Your brother?
I feel like people should know that by now. You know, you see us, you're like, they gotta be related.
We don't look alike, bro.
If I take off the glasses, never mind. Yeah, Wealthline. I think that name alone, it kind of speaks to our mission and our vision for what we want to do in our community and the impact we kind of want to make.
Yeah, speaking to your mic, bro.
Oh, can you hear me?
Make sure the people hear you. Yeah.
I just wasn't trying to hear myself. So yeah, Wealthline, we want to be a line to connect people to the wealth that they are creating, because the reality of the situation is everyone has a source of wealth. Whether that's income, whether that's investment, whatever the case is, we all have a source of wealth, and we live in a day and age where the concept of money is changing really fast.
Yeah.
And I think people need to start to break away from some of these old money philosophies. They are outdated, similar to even the, education. A lot of people are saying, current educational models need to change. I think the same thing is true for money. They're outdated. They came during the Industrial Revolution, or sometimes even before. And it's time to look at some of the, the secrets of the rich. So we've been in the industry for some years. We were working for another firm. And I heard Dobie talk about earlier, during COVID, a lot of small businesses, and it's true, they shut down. But that was actually the launching pad for us.
Yeah.
It was an opportune time.
Yeah.
We wanted to kind of pull the curtain back and show people, what the real was. And so we've been able to help clients, and we plan to make a bigger and bigger impact long term.
I hope that wasn't too vague. We can definitely go into one of those rabbit holes.
Okay.
So
I'll put two hands.
Try to keep that at a minimum.
No, that's great. I mean, I'll take a quick tangent real quick, but like y'all touched on the fact of taking advantage of when the economy is down.
Yeah.
Y'all take that advantage to gather yourself and create a launch pad so that y'all can lift up, right, and create opportunity for other people. When we get to the topic of the recession, we'll dive into this further. But literally, you have the propaganda, which is, it's literally propaganda, telling people, oh, we're in a recession, Cool. Maybe we're in one, maybe we're not. Regardless, banks, major corporations, REITs, they're buying up all this property.
Yep.
And guess who's going to be renting from them? The same people who didn't take advantage of this economy being down.
Yeah.
So it's just like people are like limiting spending as if that's something you should do during a recession. Like, if anything, you should probably increase your spending and investing, should I say. You should increase.
If you don't, it actually makes that recession worse.
Yeah,
Right, yeah.
exactly,
It makes it a lot
because
worse.
the economy needs to move.
Yeah.
So if there's no movement, of course, the economic cycle is going to go further down into a depression.
Well,
Right?
here's the issue with the recession. I don't mean to cut your wisdom, but the thing about a recession, right, is at the same time that this is happening, unemployment rates are increasing. So it's that, okay, people don't have the money, right, to put into the economy, to create more value, more transactions, because that's what it does need. And so during those times, you'll see the government, as they've already done, they'll start to manipulate different economic factors, interest rates,
Abolish the
bailouts.
Fed.
I low-key agree with. Well, let me not.
This is being recorded.
I'm sorry to cut
being
your
recorded.
wisdom. I'm sorry. But I just had to
I got
say
license.
that.
I think you have a point there. I think that's kind of happening. That's starting to happen.
Yeah.
And, people are seeing and that's a tangent definitely to crypto.
Mm-hmm.
The advantage of decentralized, currency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
DeFi. So yeah, that was good. I wanna ask some questions. These are completely random questions.
Okay.
Can we talk about Twitter real quick? Like, I
what's
just
crazy?
feel like that's just a forest fire that no one's paying attention to.
They're doing a great job.
I love and hate Twitter.
I love it. Yeah.
Twitter is one of the only platforms that makes me a consumer. Like all I do is I get on there and I'm like, oh, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Some stuff I'm on there.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. But I don't create any
Nothing.
content on there.
Yeah.
And I know I'm sure that I could.
Yeah.
But anyways, let me let someone else say something. On
And
that.
I'm specifically talking about.
Since Elon acquired.
Yes, I'm specifically talking about that.
Well, let me throw a question back your way.
Yeah.
Why is it a forest fire?
I think it's a forest fire because this dude's a maniac.
Yeah, sure.
And he owns one of the biggest social media platforms out there. And arguably, if you're talking about in its own space, it is the biggest because Twitter and Instagram are different, right? So like in terms of other Twitters out there, name another Twitter, right? Instagram and TikTok are technically on the same playing field now. But Twitter, lone wolf.
It is.
So E-Boy, I'm gonna call him E-Boy. He has control over that. Like literally, the same man that has access to rockets, electric cars, satellites. Buddy's about to make his own phone. Like it's ridiculous. When you talk about monopolizing, that's why I think it's a really like a small forest fire that I don't think we're paying attention to because he literally can have control over everything. I think we all know at this point how social media can influence things like elections or
Very much so.
major economic cycles, right? So
So
think
that's. I'm sorry to cut your wisdom, but I think Elon owning Twitter, E-Boy owning Twitter, yes, is a small forest fire, but I think before then, when it was essentially run by corporate media, that was a Smokey Bear, like whoa, fire, fire in the home type situation, because that's how you rig elections. That's how you really change how the type of information is getting out to the people for them to make their own decisions.
Yeah.
And I think that's really why E-Boy was like, hey, if I got to buy it to stop corporate media for just a moment, I'll do it. And then we can figure.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I'm not gonna cut your wisdom.
No, do your thing, man.
Because I was just gonna ask, because I have been paying attention, and my, I guess, observation of what the goings-ons was that he was being chaotic for a reason. I think the other day I was on Twitter, and it was like Twitter's ending. I knew that wasn't true. Like,
I saw that. Twitter. Yeah, Twitter's not.
He did that to increase usage. He did that to start to, and.
Well, I think he had a concern, and then he literally met with Tim Cook, who told him your concern is invalidated, and then he was able to carry on. They told the people, "Nah, we're good. We're gonna be on the Apple Store." But again, that he's showing the problem that how easy it is for these big corporations to say you're no longer on my App Store. Parler is no longer on the App Store.
Yeah.
Mind you, I'm not on Parler. I'm not endorsing them, but again, they're not on the App Store because the left-wing media didn't want to hear what they had to say. Are they saying a lot of hate? Are they saying a lot of crazy shit? Sure, yeah, of course. But you have free speech to do that. But they're no longer on the App Store or Google Play, and you're just like, oh, when does it end? If we made a black Twitter and someone didn't like what we were saying about reparations or you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all not trying to hear that, and they say you're off the App Store. Well, who's gonna stand up for us?
Support black. Vaughn, zoom in. Support black businesses. All right.
We haven't had banking conversation with that. Our money, your money's going this way, my money's going this way. How about we just cultivate it over here?
Right. We say now Carrick is good. He's good. Can we pick up an electronic device, Bluetooth headphones, social media? There's a black electric car company startup. When we strategize, we mobilize. Easy, right? We do it. we laid out the plan. Now revolutionize. I had a dream. Just do the thing. How about that? Just do the thing. Just bank on it. Be black, blessed, and beautiful, man. For real. But let's clap it up for ourselves, man. Let's clap it up for ourselves. Woo! All right, Nat.
It's on.
Yeah, you know, I did something different with the hair. This is the longest I've had my hair in without retwisting it.
Oh, good for you.
So I'm really trying to get comfortable with like it being like this. It looks. I think it looks a mess. But
this is the best part.
Yeah.
Enjoy this ride. I miss my short locks. I pulled my shot with my little baby locks. That's how you know you fire. You know what I'm saying?
So it's a journey.
I'm in a confused state. I don't know what I'm doing.
But isn't that the beautiful thing about black hair? It just grows to the sun like a plant and does what it got to do. Take care of yourself. It's gonna take care of you.
Facts.
Yeah. Right.
All right.
We back.
Yeah, we are back. What's good?
Yo.
Debt, recessions, and life insurance.
Ooh.
Nice topics.
Debt, recessions, and life insurance.
Scary.
Can we answer this, just settle this? Are we in a recession?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
I don't think by the definition of a recession.
Okay.
And I think we got a definition thing here.
Yeah, let's pull up the blackboard on that one. What is a recession? Just off the dome, what do you think constitutes a recession? What events lead to that?
I believe what leads to what is different than what a recession is. Because what leads to a recession is what we're going through right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is
which includes right now the interest rate environment.
Mm-hmm. Abolish the Fed.
They do have too much power.
Abolish the Fed. Mm-hmm.
You know, I think I'm gonna co-sign that. I don't care what happens to me.
All right. Up next, abolish the IRS.
That was well placed. But a recession is a period of, and this is a key word, sustained economic. What's the opposite of growth?
decline.
Decline, right? And it's typically coupled with a high unemployment rate.
Okay.
I think that's what it said. I took a test on this a long time ago, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
My understanding was that it was just the GDP being down.
Yeah, that's the main factor. That's the main factor.
It's the main factor being down. But it has to be sustained. So I think it's whether it's 2 quarters or a couple economic cycles, it has to be sustained, and we haven't experienced that yet.
Yeah, that's why they say it's going to start end of next year.
Right.
Because we're in the current decline right now. That's not a technical recession.
Exactly.
If it continues by fourth quarter 2023, U.S. government is going to have to stop playing with us.
Correct.
And say we are in a recession.
So it takes that long?
I think it does it might take a whole year.
So before I ask that question, when did this decline start? Did it start during the pandemic?
When the Fed started increasing the rates?
After the stimmies? Like when
we did experience a little bit of a short decline during the pandemic, and a lot of people thought that's what that was. That, all right, I don't know if you guys remember, there was a lot of talk of recession then. But then things changed. 2021 was not as bad a year as it should have been because of what happened in 2020. But I think just all those movements, and I think whenever you start to see the Fed do what it's doing now, where they're always manipulating the economy, but they are constantly I have my feet in the banks. They are always increasing interest rates. That's not stopping. And so that I think that's evidence of where things are, and the reason they're increasing interest rates is because inflation is up. The reason inflation is up, yes, is because of a lot of things that happened during the pandemic.
Pumping more money.
No value created, just throw money into the economy. Money gets more expensive or less expensive. One or the other. I can't.
And then just for a good talking point, that they love to say, Russia and Ukraine didn't help that situation.
Definitely.
because our allies in Europe are really going through it with their energy costs skyrocketing. Wheat no longer accessible to a lot of the world.
Sheesh.
You said wheat?
Wheat.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Ukraine exports a lot of wheat to Africa, to Europe.
Damn. So we don't got no bread?
Ain't got no bread.
They also export a lot of fertilizer too.
Wow.
Okay. So we're not in a recession yet.
Not yet.
It's
not been sustained.
But this is the time to prepare
But it's
for a
definitely
recession.
economic decline. Yeah, exactly.
Because if you wake up and you're like, oh my God, we're in a
We're in
recession,
a recession. It's
2023.
too late.
It's
You
way
missed
too
it.
late.
It's too late.
It's way. By the time you read about it in the newspaper,
Yeah,
it's far too late.
Yeah, no,
more
and-
times than you could count.
And that's a great segue because can we talk about preparation real quick, right? Like preparation. You better say something?
Yeah, because I think every recession is a little different.
Yeah.
In 08, it was because of a lot of stupid. To be honest, it was a lot of stupid. I think mortgage loans and the interest rates they were
the
approving.
subprime.
Yeah, so it was really focused on the housing market, or because of the housing market, and that's not the case now. The housing market's not that bad. Let me not say that. It's not what it was in 08.
Yeah.
I think we've learned from those mistakes. I think why this recession will be different is because of social media. Right? It's going to be, at the end of the day, consumer confidence is a real thing. Right? And whenever you have social media where everybody's looking and typing and this is happening, that can make it blow up more than it needs to.
That's called moral panic.
Right.
Yep.
It was. I think in 08,
the variation of that.
it was kicked off by. I think that's when Bernie Madoff. I actually learned this from a friend recently. That was when Bernie Madoff did
His Ponzi scheme.
His Ponzi scheme, and now.
Bernie did a Ponzi. Wait,
No,
hold
not
up.
Bernie Sanders. Bernie Madoff.
Okay, I was like,
Not Bernie
wait.
Sanders
Bernie
would be behind
Sanders.
you.
Like, I'm having my ear to the streets, but not all the streets, man. I'm like, what?
Bernie Madoff, it was billions of dollars.
Millions.
Jeez.
People lost everything. It was like what was that firm that went down?
It was. We were all in you young cats were probably in elementary school.
This nigga.
How old are you? Yeah, what?
Hell nah.
I thought I was the oldest here. Okay.
Right.
Good stuff.
Me and Dobie, we age mates.
Nah.
Not age mates.
She's older
What
than
is
you, bro.
that?
It's lit.
She got
I'm
3
not
years on
30.
you.
Y'all are not age mates.
Yeah, man. We age mates.
But what I mean is that was made a big deal, and things like that affect consumer confidence, right? And now you have something similar that's happened, but it's not being blown up as much. With what's it, FTX? What is the crypto?
Yeah. The founder.
Yeah.
FTX.
Similarly, was siphoning and stealing money from almost at that level. I don't know if it was as big as Bernie. Could have been. Crypto's huge.
Well, we don't know because it's crypto,
Yeah.
and we've been giving a lot of money to Ukraine, who uses a lot of crypto.
Oh wow.
FTX was also donating to a lot of Democratic politicians as well, who have a hand in the crypto space.
Yeah.
So we actually really never going to know the scale of the lying and the stealing that was going on just because of the nature of crypto.
I think he had 3 companies, and he was moving money between them
Yeah.
and keeping more, and it was. It's a mess. So, I think
So preparation.
Yeah. I think it's also going to be different because we have a lot more business owners, right?
Yeah.
Whenever people are left at the whims of the economy, if you're just, working a 9 to 5, a lot of times it's easier to be affected by a recession. But people who think entrepreneurially look for opportunities. They look for opportunities to buy assets at a discount.
Yes.
And different things like that. So, I think preparation, you probably hear this a lot. You want to hold on to cash. But at the same time, you also want to be smart. You want to make sure that now more than ever, you want to be liquid for months in the event of something happening, right? You want to save up quite a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I just think it's when I don't know, maybe this is a rant, but I feel like regardless of what is going on, regardless of the flux of propaganda, moral panic, facts, lies, whatever, I just feel like people should always at least be cognizant of what's going on and be aware of, are they prepared for a worst case scenario?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And these are just basic stuff that people can do. And so I'm just worried about certain people who are not taking this seriously.
Yeah.
Like, it's not too serious yet, but this is the best time to be serious. Because when it gets real, like,
It's too late to be serious.
It's too late.
You smacked.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm just sitting here like, yeah, start the business. Start it. Like, right now.
Yeah.
Buy the house. You can buy a condo, something you own, something you can turn into an asset, something you can leverage. Because when shit hits the fan, like, you gotta have an umbrella.
Yeah.
And
Like,
the
for
government
real.
is more liable to help you if you're a homeowner, a business owner. If you're just
literally.
an individual
There's
9
so
to 5
many
and
more-
shit hits the fan, the
Yeah.
government really has no resource. I mean, during the pandemic, they had $1,200 for individuals,
$1,200
hundreds of
And look what that
thousands
did.
for local businesses.
For local businesses.
And all you had to do was have your paperwork.
Yes.
Yeah.
And people are
Oh.
complaining like, oh my gosh, government doesn't care, da, 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 people are starving. It's like, okay, you could have started the LLC, even if you're doing hair on the side,
Yeah.
Right.
start it. Even if you doing nails, start it. You making blankets, do it. Like, come on.
I think that's what people need to realize.
Yeah.
You know, people are oftentimes just looking for, whether it's investments or assets, and like, you actually are your most important asset.
Yeah.
Like
100%.
You, what you do. You know, I think again, it's the world's kind of opening up. People are realizing that. I think who said it in the last session? Like, small businesses run the world. They run this economy.
I mean, the middle class in general.
Yeah.
All the in between, the meat, it's the meat of the sandwich, right? Like, you're not getting a burger and just eating buns. It's
For
the in
the
between. You feel me? Like, that's what makes it.
for the whiteboard, is that what you
The
call
blackboard.
it? The blackboard.
Yeah.
For the blackboard, we got to put on what defines a small business.
Okay.
There are a lot of small, like Papa John's is a small business.
Really?
Yeah, it's about how many employees you have. Papa John's has a bunch of franchises. They're not employees.
That's true.
The people that work in that, that corporate building
the
on
corporate
285,
building. Yeah,
they don't have that many employees,
That's
but they're
true.
a small business.
that's true.
Now, if you think of that impact, if there was no Papa John's,
That's true.
a lot of people would not have jobs in this country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
You know
So
what I'm saying?
franchises don't count as employees?
No,
That's
they're
crazy.
completely separate.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You have a whole nother line of like liabilities and
Yeah,
how much
yeah.
you put it in, you pay your franchise fees and whatnot. But like, we have to really understand what a small business is. When I'm saying like, small businesses run America,
That's
not corporations.
wild. No,
Gotcha.
that's facts.
That's a big bar right
No,
there.
that's a big bar, because I mean, you got to think like these big dogs are buying up the small tech startups. Like, if it weren't for those ingenuity, look how Amazon bought Ring. That was a
Yeah.
small
Right.
tech startup.
Yeah.
Straight from Shark Tank.
Yeah.
Like,
So
you know what I'm
like,
saying?
if it weren't for those small things, like, because I mean, one of the rules in business is like you're looking for that exit strategy, right? So people, if that's people's game and their plan, I'm gonna make this super, very functional, low level microphone stand, for example, and lo and behold, boom, I get sold to Sony, or I get sold to Zoom, or I don't know, JVC, JBL, one of those audio companies, right? You never know.
Take it to-
That was a small business.
So taking that even to the next level,
Yeah.
you look at government contracting.
Yeah.
A lot of those are done by small businesses.
Small businesses.
Small businesses are running this country in every
That's
aspect.
wild.
And people are just like, yeah, I'm just going to work.
Yeah.
Right.
There's some type of like timidity around just the idea of stepping out. And like, you don't have to.
Bro, I want to do a whole episode on ego.
Yeah,
I want to do a whole episode on ego. We're gonna do that season 3.
We try to
that's
to encourage people who
holding a
even,
lot of people
even
back.
people who partner with us in our company.
Yeah.
Like, this is not, it don't gotta always be, I throw everything away and go like that
No.
success story of
No.
everything falls to the side and this is my main
Yeah,
thing
no.
and only thing and I
No.
go 100% in. It might get to that, and
But
by
it's
all
also
means,
unrealistic, especially if you
it
don't
is.
have, parents who are going to give you
Exactly.
$200,000. Shout out Jeff Bezos.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
or the founders of FedEx.
Like-
dude, he borrowed $250K from each of his sisters who
Like-
had a trust. They were all trust fund babies.
come on, y'all. Like, stop. Like, you don't
gotta
have
be all
that.
that.
You don't have that legacy. You're not
I can't
Mark
ask a family
Zuckerberg.
member. I can pick up my phone right now and ask someone for $250, and I might get a bunch of maybes.
Yeah.
I know a few people
When you gonna
that
pay me
can
back?
maybe give
When
me
you gonna pay me back?
$250. Right.
Yeah.
On a loan.
I need $250 to start my
$250?
business, y'all. Can you hook me up?
What's crazy is every business doesn't even take all that kind of capital.
Nope.
Right.
It's really about, identifying needs in the economy. Like, I saw one the other day. I saw this actually on Twitter, the forest fire, where someone, like, it's a guy I follow. I knew him back in the day. But he's been doing really well. He like buys storage units.
Mm-hmm.
And, like,
I think I know what you're talking about.
His real estate is in storage units.
Yes. Yep.
So he was like, you know what? And he has kids. And so he said a really good business, like what I would need, because again, business is really just about identifying problems, providing values. Like if somebody like opened up a daycare that would take kids from Thursday to Sunday from 7 to 11. Because a lot of these parents are going on date night. Most daycares are like just during the day.
Just during the day.
And
That's
so,
evening.
and so he was like, if somebody would just do that, they'd blow up. And I'm like, I mean, of course, something like that
Small
does
things
take
like
capital.
that.
But it's about
just
identifying
ideas.
problems and
use
Bro,
your
there was a
noggin.
guy that he's a cop, police officer, became a millionaire running a daycare. And now that leads to my point I was about to say is that you can actually make it big with your 9 to 5. Like you can actually do both. Dude is a cop. I forgot what county he was in. I don't think it was in Georgia. But dude, regular day job, officer, been in his job for a couple of years, runs a daycare. I think he's running $10K a month.
Jeez.
Wow.
That's not hard to do either. Kids got
first
babies.
year made 6 figures, and then
Kids got babies.
slowly over time he scaled up, millionaire,
It's amazing.
police officer.
You know, and it's also
Like-
like you don't need to do something new. You don't need to just start some new brand.
You don't.
Never before seen.
You don't have to start the next Apple.
You don't.
the
Like,
next
and I
You
think
most
a
likely
lot
don't have
of-
the bandwidth to start it anyway.
Yeah,
You don't
exactly.
stretch
I think
yourself
venture
out.
capital and like tech crunch, like those
Yeah.
are great things, but I think it's ruining people's perception of. Again, a lot of people just, hey, I saw his business model, it worked.
It worked.
I'm gonna do it in this
Duplicate
market, or I'm
In
gonna do
my
it here.
market, yep.
you
Yeah.
know? So
Cause it's like we sit here and act like we don't have creativity, that we don't don't have hobbies, that we don't like to do things in our spare time. You can turn that into something that makes you money. There's a golden rule out there is that you should have multiple hobbies that keep you in shape, hobbies that make you money, hobbies that keep you creative.
Yep.
And I think there's 2 more to that rule, but those are like the top 3. Like if you're not doing that, like why are you living? Why shouldn't you be creative? Why shouldn't you be making money? I like to eat food. I like to have my lights on. I like to have a bed to sleep in. Like those things cost what? Money.
That's true. So put yourself in position.
Put yourself in position to eat food. I like not to starve. So maybe one of my hobbies can make me money on top of my 9 to 5 or whatever the case may be, to bring in that extra thing or feed in the hobby that I like to do. If I like to take pictures and print them out and put them on a wall, you should have the ability and the access to do that.
see, now you got me thinking, how do I make money while eating food?
There's ways.
Oh my gosh!
There's
Do you
ways.
see all those food
Travel
bloggers?
bloggers?
Yeah,
There's
what?
ways.
Open up
lots of ways.
Instagram.
Man.
There's a lot of people that are not making money eating food, but there are people that
Literally.
found something that people are
Literally.
just like, I'm going to listen to you
That's
eat
true.
spaghetti.
Literally.
Yeah,
What?
ASMR. Yeah,
ASMR.
that's
What?
so crazy.
Wait, what? Say it.
ASMR, they be like,
Wait, and people listen to that?
people
Yes.
love it. It's
Millions of
soothing.
views.
We gonna pull it
YouTube
up.
money is nice.
That's why I was doing that earlier when I was eating
We're
the
gonna pull it
bagel.
up on the blackboard.
That's ASMR.
We're gonna pull
That
it up
is-
on the blackboard, but here it is, Andy. So ASMR stands for Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response. It's a tingling sensation that usually begins on the scalp and moves down the back of the neck and upper spine.
That happens
Spicy.
here,
So
but
you
not
get
for-
that sensation. Maybe you hear someone eat a bag of chips, or podcasting, for example, right? Enunciating, or many different things. But it's that very like crisp sound.
I
like
eat really well. I need to borrow one of these microphones.
not you eat really
It's
well.
not
What?
going to be this mic. We're going to need it. We're going to get you a nice
Yo,
specialized mic.
awesome.
Right.
We're going to get you
Fair
a
enough. Fair enough.
music
fair enough.
production mic. Get you in the studio and start eating, bro.
We's back, baby. We were talking about recessions. We were talking about preparation, and we were about to get into something juicy right at the end. I forgot what it was. Preparation and
We talked about businesses.
businesses. Small businesses
being
run the
the
world.
lifeline of America.
Small businesses run the world. Yes. So,
do.
man, sheesh, that's a whole nother episode we could do on small businesses.
Big facts.
Jesus Christ.
Big facts.
So we
the
got to do an
definition of
episode.
what a small business is
Right,
alone.
right.
Got everyone messed up.
We gotta do an episode on small businesses and an episode on ego. That's what we were talking about earlier. But I wanna move into. I really want to get into the meat here and touch on life insurance, why it's so important, and family banking. How does it work?
Okay.
And what the hell is good debt? We're gonna ask those questions for the laymen's and the laywomen's who may not know. I'm gonna start with life insurance, man. What is it? Like, for real. Like, if you were to talk to somebody who didn't know, what is life insurance and why the hell is this so important? And yeah, either of y'all can take a stab at this.
Okay.
But before y'all get into it,
Yeah.
can you break it down into two ways, right? Because there's like a traditional thought process where people understand life insurance, and then I guess y'all can go into like a higher level. It's like what really is life insurance, and like really how you can take that to the next level without even being dead.
Yeah, like the life insurance hack. So do the hack version, and then like the.
So I'll start with the very basic, essential.
Yeah.
I guess definition, so to speak, of what life insurance is.
Yeah.
Insurance is really just a way to transfer risk, no matter what it is. If it's car insurance, home insurance,
Right.
You're transferring the risk from yourself to somebody who's a little bit more, or an entity that's a little bit more, I guess,
Capable
of handling that worst case scenario.
Okay.
Life insurance, very basically, is just a way to transfer the risk of when you pass, the people that you leave behind.
So death insurance.
Yeah. When you pass the people that you leave behind, they're going to have a financial hit, more than likely.
Yeah.
And so this is a way to
It costs money to put grandma on the ground, man.
yes, especially if grandma's paying bills.
Right.
And so this is just a way to transfer that risk from you and your family to a more able entity, which would be an insurance carrier. All right, it's just a contract. Now, beyond that, what people don't understand, so there's different kinds of life insurance. I'm not going to go into that rabbit hole, but
Just name them, if you could name them.
Well, there's whole life insurance, there's term life insurance, there's universal life insurance, and that's pretty much it.
Just
There's also like
variable.
group life. I mean, those are all types of those main three. And there's also like the job insurance that most people think is really their insurance. That's, you don't own job insurance. Your employer does, so they control it. So I'm not even going to really talk about that. But when it comes down to the life insurance that you own, there's what's being marketed to us, and then there's what's not being marketed to us. So I know you mentioned like what's the hack.
Yeah.
It's not a hack. It's just the one thing that's not being marketed to us, because if we understood it, we would see life insurance as a whole different kind of thing. Than now, people see life insurance as just like car insurance, except you don't get penalized for not having it.
Right.
So most people just don't have it.
Right.
But
That's crazy.
In reality, it's something that's way more than that.
Yeah.
And if you really think about like life insurance commercials, I hope I'm not talking too much, but life insurance commercials, like if you think about it, is based on nothing. They're really trying to show you everything except for what life insurance is or what it's capable of, because if you understood it, it's game over for a lot of the higher ups.
Yeah.
So a lot of people.
I don't think I've ever seen a
entities.
life insurance commercial. Have you?
Geico, Nationwide, it's always something stupid.
Yeah.
It's always
They're
something
not
like.
talking about
I mean, they
nothing
lead
else.
with the
Chris
car
Paul.
insurance and the home auto bundles and
Exactly,
shit.
and then life insurance is just
It's just there.
split in there.
Yeah.
Like, all right.
Switch and
As
save,
if that's
whatever.
not hundreds
Live
of
your
thousands of
mutual.
dollars
Exactly.
Yeah.
for you and your peoples.
Yeah, those commercials are notoriously stupid.
Yeah. So what's being marketed to us is just, hey, this is a way to create essentially a bill for yourself, and treat it in a very similar way as car insurance, which is why a lot of people end up canceling it when financial hardships happen, because this ain't car insurance where I could get, a
Pulled
ticket
over and
for not having it. This is just me being proactive about my family.
Right.
Which,
As if that's not a requirement. Right?
Yeah, and I'm
Stuff
like,
not
wow,
important.
the way that people just put that away when something's going.
yeah,
Like, you
rough,
can
and they're
actually
like-
the first thing to
navigate
go.
Wow.
without a car.
Yeah.
You can actually navigate without a car, and it saves you. I mean, shoot, if you live in an urbanized city, a developed enough city, you can literally get around without a car.
Yeah.
If the public transit system is top tier.
Exactly. But
Yeah, go ahead.
But yeah, so the real life insurance is actually an asset. It's an asset. It's not just an insurance policy.
Like an asset to be used.
It's an asset
like
to
an
be
asset to
used.
generate
Yes,
income.
Exactly.
Income, okay.
So I mean, even beyond that, like if you think of assets like cars
Yes.
and
Real
homes, which
estate.
most times aren't assets for people because they don't know how to
Utilize them.
them correctly. But
Right.
with those assets, you don't just buy any house, any car without being well educated on that asset first and understand how to use it. But when it comes to life insurance, people don't treat it as an asset, so it's just anything that's cheapest, anything that's quickest, anything that's most convenient is what they're going to end up buying. But in reality, life insurance is an asset, and when it's treated like an asset, like the way, not even the 1%ers, it's really like the top 0.25ers. But when it's treated that way, the power behind those assets is exponential, infinite, if you would. And I could let Andy take it away from there if he wants to elaborate on that. But in a nutshell, that's what life insurance is.
Okay.
It's really like the foundational piece of any successful financial plan. Without it, your financial plan is shaky. It's like a home that's shaky because there's no real foundation that's put in place. So.
Got it.
That was actually really good.
Yeah.
I have trained you really well.
Yo.
Why is it important then? That's the second part of the question. Why is it so, like, why do y'all beat people over the heads and say you need life insurance? I'm gonna call you 3 times a day until you open up a policy. Why?
Here's why I do it.
Please keep calling me.
I'll be very honest. I hope this is not too coarse or crude. I don't care what people do. I do feel the need to educate people, but you know, I forget the saying, and Joe, you can correct me here. Sometimes it's harder to educate someone or like tell them that what they believe is a lie than to actually tell them and give them new information.
Yeah.
Wait, can you say that again?
Yeah, one more time.
A lot of times it's harder to like convince somebody that what they believe to be true may not be the case than it is to actually just introduce the new information, especially when it's conflicting.
That's facts.
There's a better way to say
Wow.
that.
No.
I receive that 100%.
I receive it. Yeah.
That's my life.
So
that makes sense.
Right. When it comes to life insurance, Joe just kind of hit the nail on the head. Any kind of insurance is a transfer of risk. Life insurance is a very specific kind of risk. It's the only risk that's guaranteed to happen.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, wow.
If you think about it. Right? At the end of the day, I'm not guaranteed to get into a car accident. A tree's not guaranteed to fall on my home. I'm not guaranteed to break my phone, even though I have several times. But life insurance is. And so it's the basis for a lot of old money because this is something that's been happening for a long time.
People have been dying for
a long
thousands
time.
of years. Right?
What do I do when people die? Like, right? So,
It's really the easiest way to transfer wealth or create wealth, generational wealth.
Yeah.
It's the
It
most
actually
primal way of doing that.
it creates an estate.
And saving taxes.
Right?
Yes.
The definition, right? A life insurance policy, it creates an estate. The bad part, not the bad part, the hard part for people to accept is this is a benefit, this is a value that I personally won't see.
Right.
Right? Because, I mean, it's a death benefit. Again, that's the information that people are fed or that they understand of it. And the people who are well off are like, well, yeah, I do want people to. Anyways, no one wants to have, especially when you have kids and stuff in the family, you don't want to put them out. But it's a unique risk where that happens. Now, Joe was breaking down earlier the different kinds, right? He's right. It really just, it boils down to really 2 categories. There's pure term, pure life insurance where just like car insurance, you're paying for the risk only. And then there's permanent life insurance. All permanent policies have 2 components. They have the death benefit that we talked about, and then they have cash value, which essentially is equity. Okay, you have equity within this policy that you could tap into.
That's the asset part.
That's the asset part.
That's what
Yeah.
makes it an asset.
Yeah.
And it's probably the easiest kind of equity to tap into for your home. You either got to sell it, a HELOC maybe. This is the easiest way to access money, and so from an asset like this. And so when you understand that the way these are built, right? I mean, it's based off of a lot of data, hundreds of years of looking at people's lives. Here's the truth of the matter. We live in a day and age where health is getting better. People are living longer.
Really?
Yes. People are definitely living longer.
They're not living well, but they're living.
Right? They are living, like the what is it called? The average, what is it?
Lifespan?
Lifespan.
Yeah, life expectancy.
Life expectancy.
Yeah,
That's the word. Maybe you should do what I do. But it's like, I think for men and women, it's 84, 85 respectively. Women live longer than men. I don't know why.
Men are really, they be doing a lot of unnecessary stuff.
No, that makes sense. That makes perfect sense, actually.
But nonetheless, so this pool of money that's been gathering for hundreds of years is growing larger because the pool of money comes from people, businesses, banks paying premiums. In addition, insurance companies are under a different set of guidelines and rules than we are. They can't just invest in the stock market, right? They do have to have a lot more, so they do have safer investments because of all these factors.
Sorry to cut your wisdom. I think you're specifically talking about mutual companies that are regulated to take safer risks or safer investments.
Right. They're different kind. I didn't want to.
That's definitely
do one of those on this.
Not every. I just want to make sure that people understand. Not every insurance carrier where you can get life insurance is going to be really protecting your money like that, or being that safe with it.
Here's
because
the thing.
They have different obligations.
Really,
the mutual companies. This is definitely
okay. Let's run the tangent.
The mutual companies treat policyholders as their owners.
Okay.
So if you're putting premiums into that company, their whole obligation is to make sure that you do not lose money.
Right.
All right. So that part of the asset that's going into cash value is guaranteed to grow at a certain rate, and then there will be dividends paid to you as the owner.
Okay.
If it's a stock company that you have this permanent whole life insurance policy with, their obligation is to the stockholders who own the company. So everything that they will do is going to be a lot more risky because they got to prove something to those stockholders, which means you are liable to have some type of downturn that it's going to fluctuate. Right.
It won't grow. I'll be honest with you. It just like a lot of whole life policies. If you look at State Farm's and we study these, and if people are used to this, it doesn't grow for the first 3 years, and it grows slow after that. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's a unilateral contract. What that means, it's one-sided. No matter what it is, stock or mutual company, they have to pay out a death benefit. Okay. So they can't be wayward with our money.
That's true.
Okay. So it's a unique asset where it provides a lot of tax advantages. Okay. Specifically, number one, the death benefit is tax-free, transferable upon death, and that kind of covers all the money that's in the policy.
Yep.
So going back to what I told you guys earlier, you have these permanent policies that have two components: cash value, the equity, death benefit. And the whole purpose of the build or the engineering of these policies is that when they mature, those two things equal each other. That usually happens at age 100. Yes. But there's ways to structure different ways, different constructs where you can do some of that earlier or get some of those same kind of advantages earlier. Again, if you live into 100, it's a game of chess. Actually, these days it's actually 121. They're like, wow. If you don't live to 121, bro, you win. Take the $1 million.
First to the finish.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really what it is. It's a game of...
So, and I saw that on Instagram real quick, Andy. I wanted to clarify that because I was trying to explain it to myself, right? And I'll be spamming y'all phones all the time. I'll be like, are they on it? Like, they got it? So someone mentioned something about like you spend $100,000 to get $1 million in a policy back, or like I guess that's your return.
That's a death penalty.
Like how does
so pretty much that's just explaining like the basic concept of life insurance. Like the reason why it should be a no-brainer is because premiums are always literally a super small fraction of what the death benefit pays out on the back end.
Got you.
It can't be considered an investment. If we were to call it an investment, we would definitely lose our licenses.
Right.
It's not an investment.
It doesn't entail risk.
Because there's no risk to lose money.
Okay.
At least for the money that you put in.
Yes.
In the form of your premium.
Yes.
You're not going to lose that ever.
In variable policies, you will.
Okay.
So there's different.
Ask questions.
There's different kinds of policies that would entail different things.
Right.
But yeah, to answer your question, that $100,000 is premium that's being put in, and that's all that's being put in over a course of a lifetime. And at the end of that lifetime, there's $1 million coming to your family. Gross difference makes it where it should be it should be a no-brainer as far as like life insurance in general. But then of course the type of asset that you have is really what matters. So it should be a no-brainer to get a house, but the type of house that you buy, it matters.
It's going to determine the
return
of your investment.
Get a car, but hey, you got to check the Carfax. The type of car,
type
it
of
matters.
Car. It's going to matter.
So you have to treat life insurance in a very similar way.
Is Wealthline what type of insurance carrier is Wealthline? Is it the mutual kind or the stock company kind?
So we actually play the role of the middleman.
Okay.
Right? Ultimately, to be honest, that is the goal, to be a carrier.
Right.
Carriers have deep pockets. They've been around. We only work with carriers that have been around over 100 years. So we can see what they've done in the last... Old money.
Yeah.
Old money.
I think our oldest carrier is, 1848?
Yes.
Wow.
That's before the Civil War, guys.
Whoa.
Right? If you think about it.
That's before emancipation.
That's before. People who look like us couldn't get policies back then.
Yeah.
Right.
But the reason we do that is so that we can see what they've done in every economic. So we do a Great Depression stress test, the worst economic time of our history. How did these companies fare, right? And so what sets us apart is not just the fact of life insurance. But when a lot of people they understand that it's just not a priority. They understand that, I need to protect my family. But at the end of the day, as Joe stated earlier very eloquently, it is an asset.
Yeah.
Assets are meant to be used.
Yes.
And so we specialize in how do we use this for different purposes.
While you're alive.
While you're alive. It's called life
Right?
insurance.
It's
Yeah.
called life insurance. Again, I told you guys, it endows, it matures. The cash value is built to catch up to the death benefit.
Real quick, what is an endowment?
Good question. So an endowment is a life insurance policy that happens earlier than 100.
So it's strictly to life insurance?
Matures.
I thought endowments...
They have.
Because with universities, sorry, I didn't mean to cut your wisdom. I was just trying to clarify. I think universities have endowments as well, right?
They do.
The people named on the building, right?
Correct.
They offer is that another form?
An endowment, in its definition, is a very large gift.
Okay, right. That's what I thought it was. Okay.
Right. An endowment. That's what that means. So many things can be an endowment.
Right.
An endowment insurance, I thought that's what you were referring to.
No.
A little bit different than life insurance. It still has a death benefit, right? Which gives it a lot of the same benefits, right? It just matures sooner than life insurance.
Okay.
Right?
Got it.
So, hope that answers your question.
Yeah. No, I was just want to put it out there.
So it's just that the cash value is going to catch up to the death benefit quicker.
Yeah. Got it.
An endowment policy, and we actually specialize in a lot of those as well.
Exactly.
We've been doing that a lot more recently, especially with where we're seeing the economy going. It's just a way to overfund these policies, to place the emphasis on the equity. The death benefit is important, but what I didn't mention earlier is just like you have a tax-free transferable death benefit, the cash value is also growing tax-free now. Given these are after-tax dollars, premiums that are going in, right?
You've already paid taxes
when
you get paid.
So when we get paid, so it's after-tax dollars that are going in, but the growth, there's no capital gains tax on the guaranteed growth of these policies for whole life. I know so much to make sure you cover. There's no guarantee. There's no tax on the guaranteed growth of the cash value or the dividends, because dividends are technically a return of premium.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And then you don't just get tax-free growth, but then you have tax-free use of that money. Right. So I think to put it in, I wouldn't say layman's terms, but in simple terms.
Okay.
What we do is we help people understand their cost of money. We help people understand financial arbitration within vehicles like these. Financial arbation.
Yes, that's a bar.
In this specific case, we're talking about positive and negative interest forces on the same dollar. Because that's literally the game that banks play.
Talk about it.
It's interest
Really getting
Talk about it. Put your money to work, man.
They buy and sell money.
Interest is very powerful. The people who understand it earn it. The people who don't pay it.
It's
really simple.
And I can't wait to get to episode 5, because we're going to talk about I'm glad we are taking the time to break it down in simple terms, because we know we're experts in our fields, right, respectively, but the masses are gonna need some of that 5-year-old explanation. Like, they kind of need it sometimes, because if our goal is to get people on board, we may need to just spell it out, boom, 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 and like you said, give them the new information. Spend less time trying to deconstruct and just construct.
Give them the new information.
Just give them the new information. Give them a call to action too.
Yeah.
And just have them start doing the shit, and then maybe circle back around and be like, so what you were doing this whole time debunks all this shit that you've been doing wrong.
Yeah.
That's what I do with our palette. I try to teach a genuine generational wealth standard. But instead of trying to deconstruct what that means, instead of trying to backtrack and be like, oh, history and critical race theory and blah, 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 emancipation, reparations, whatever, teach them what I'm doing. Yeah. Show them what I'm doing.
In real life.
Circle back in real life. Mm-hmm. Show them, circle back around later.
Absolutely.
But anyway, that was my tangent. Like, yeah.
I agree with you.
That was a great explanation, Andy. That's understanding really allows me to like, and other people to like overstand how they can get involved for their life and their family.
Take advantage of this. It's a guaranteed risk.
Right.
Yeah. Don't just say, because it's crazy. Again, I think it's just because of misinformation and miseducation.
Yes.
100%.
I have a client, and I'm not going to put like all his business out there.
Yeah, no.
But he's only ever been familiar with group life insurance. He's like, yeah, I had life insurance at work. I left them and like, where did he go? Meanwhile,
with them.
My boy has $80,000 in debt from like selling baseball cards.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And there's ways where we can transfer interest rate control, because it's not just about, Joe just said he dropped the bar earlier. He said, he kind of whispered in when everybody was talking.
Mm-hmm. She heard. I know she heard.
He said the borrower is slave to the lender.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I didn't even hear that one.
And that's actually a Bible verse.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
That's an Old Testament verse too. So you peep game and you know.
So and that's not talking about just like loaning people money.
Yeah.
Right. I think we'll talk about good and bad debt later. But it's really about this conversation of interest.
Yes.
Because whoever controls the interest controls the money.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's truth.
Abolish the Fed.
I knew she was gonna say that.
Lord, please, before I die, abolish the Fed.
And so.
Don't do it.
The reason I'm saying that is because, again, the game banks play is you coming.
I think I don't know. I might be tripping, but I think that's gonna get into the next question.
Okay.
Probably. More than likely.
I'm gonna hold off.
If it's because I know you're gonna go.
But before we move to that next question, I know I keep saying abolish the Fed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But like that point right there about who controls the interest rates determines everything else. Yeah. And we've already seen in this country, the person that is going to get the shortest end of the stick every single time is going to be the individual consumer.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they have the power to say, abolish the Fed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
The Fed, bro.
Because that is like, that's how you're losing so much money.
They're not even federal.
You're not even federal.
They're
This is a private.
owned.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Come on,
it's private corporation.
Just got to follow the money, right?
If we go into feds and the banks, we're going to be here for another 2 hours.
Yeah,
3
but
hours.
I think it's important to keep like that overstanding of understanding how all of these factors are influencing like our grocery store bills, our credit card debt, getting life insurance to pay off that said debt.
Get the mortgage. You can't find it. Yeah. And so I'm quoting or referencing one of our other guests, right? His name was AJ, and he was on episode the finale, right? Mm-hmm. I'm paraphrasing what he said. He said, it is appalling to see a family who watches their grandmother or grandfather live on this earth for 80 plus years, and then when they finally pass, they have nothing of substantial value to pass down. So he's basically describing, first of all, majority of black families in America, if we're being honest. And when I think of when my grandmother passed and when my grandfather passed, well, I didn't even meet him. He died when I was 3 months old. And so, I mean, these people, these two individuals were in their late 80s. 80 years. Like 80 years. Let's just do a quick interest calculation. Say I have a bank account and I put $5 every month, and then it accrues by X amount of interest rate. For 80 years, I'm going to get something.
I'm about to do the math.
Like, but you got to, so 5.
I'm going to say 0% interest. Let's see what's going to happen.
Yeah.
That's still $5K.
For 80 years?
Yeah.
Yo, get me out of here. That's crazy.
$5 a month. That's just 5.
Interest would make that go crazy.
Yeah.
Right.
So you said 0% interest?
Yeah, I said 0% interest. That's practically what you're getting at the savings accounts.
Exactly. Boop. Exactly. So just a regular savings account, $5 a month for 80 years, it's $5K. So make that 50. All right, I got a corporate job. I can I put aside 3 times that in my insurance plan, right? Yeah. So let's just say 50. That's $50K, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
$500. That's $500,000.
Yep.
Over 80 years. That's $500,000.
With 0% interest.
With the 0% interest, that's $500,000 you can pass down But that concept really blew my mind, because when you think of a lot of elders that are passing away, and like one of the Instagram posts I sent y'all, they were like low-key trolling people, but like, y'all are doing all these fish fries and GoFundMe's for grandma and grandpap.
Don't even want to
like,
talk about it.
But
Yeah,
we've been telling y'all, invest in yourself, invest in your family, get them policy, and that way you're not. You can focus on celebrating their life instead of grieving over this debt
I read somewhere
that you accrued to put them in the ground.
I was just gonna say, I think I read somewhere that Chadwick didn't have life insurance
He didn't even have a will.
or a will. Yeah.
Wow.
The state of
They
California
took,
got
like,
a good chunk of his money.
They took like $2 million.
Yeah, they
Word?
got.
Y'all
Yep.
saying
That's
The
wild.
state got a good chunk of his money because they had to go through
They took,
probate
like, $2
court.
million.
Mind you, he was married.
Yeah.
His wife got
His
some
wife
money, and his family.
Probably got like 1.8.
But it's the fact.
Total.
It's the fact that
That's-
the state
Yeah,
took
the
$2 million.
state.
Because when he died, the state was like, "Well, I guess we got to figure out where your money goes."
Right, right.
And they
So
went.
go ahead
And they
and give
got
us
to work.
$900K for just figuring it out, and we're gonna keep another.
Jesus.
But all you
Christ.
got to do was
Bruh.
give all my money to my wife.
Yeah.
Yo.
Period. You can put it
Period.
on a
Same
toilet
thing with
paper.
what's her name, Aretha Franklin, I think. She didn't have a will either.
DMX didn't either with all them kids.
Yo.
I think they still fighting. I think they still fighting because the fiance tried to slide in.
So-
They're like, "No, ma'am."
No,
So
ma'am.
to answer your question,
Yeah.
that's why we do what we do, just to
Yeah.
make sure people have. I'm sure no one really came to Chadwick for real.
Nah.
No one really sat down for real, like heart to heart.
Nah.
Like with the approach of, I actually don't care what you do. I just really need you to know like this information,
Yes.
so
Right.
you know what to do with
Know
it.
what
But
to
isn't
do
that
with
so
it.
crazy
A lot of
though?
people
Like,
come to when they come to you, they start trying to sell you something. Like people
Yeah.
can smell that from a mile away, and black
Yeah.
folk don't like that.
We don't like
Right.
that. Yeah.
So like,
Just give them information.
you just
Yo,
give them
information.
information. But you know, when you had sent that quote from
Yeah.
AJ,
Yeah.
and it made me think. I think it was about 2017, 2018. Keisha Lance Bottom gets on the 7 o'clock news, and she's like, "Yo, stop selling your grandparents' houses. The developers are sharks out here. I can't help you otherwise, but the one advice I can give you is to not sell it." And I was like, wow, what a great piece of advice, but you're missing so much more.
Yeah.
yeah.
Because the issue isn't that people are just selling grandma's house for
Yeah.
willy-nilly.
No.
They're cash poor.
They need the cash.
They
yeah.
need that $200,000,
They need the cash.
$300,000 so they can divide it by 8 and keep it moving.
Exactly.
Here's the issue,
Exactly.
right? Even with Chadwick's, because at some point, if you do have, God forbid, a terminal disease or something, like that's the obvious choice. The problem is it happens too late.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Whether it's age or health, people realize it's too late.
Way
They
too
don't-
late.
They don't take advantage of their age and health.
Yeah.
It's like, because we do this.
Yeah.
Like people realize it too late to where it's like, now I need to get them something.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
Who's
they're
your-
on several medications and all these different things, and like there's only so much. Again, it's a game of risk.
Transfer of
Right.
risk.
Yes.
These
And,
these
like,
companies know the
be
game.
real.
They've been
Be
around for
real.
a while.
Yeah.
No, no, be
They've been
real.
doing
Like,
it.
they're not
18,
gonna-
18,
you gonna
Yeah.
give someone a whole
84,
life?
1848.
You trying to give someone a whole life and they
48?
got terminal cancer? Like,
Yeah.
let's be real. Because you have to do the not every not every insurance policy requires like a health screening, but a lot of them do.
Yeah.
And
If it doesn't,
Oh, no, they will
you
find out.
might want to
Right.
raise an eyebrow what
Yeah.
you got, because
Right.
it's probably not gonna pay out.
Yeah.
Keep it a
you know what I'm
bean.
saying? Like we have to be real because these are all the things that take into account before I give you like, how's your
Go
health?
ahead, do the car.
Who's
facts
your
on that
youngest
Right.
policyholder? Do you know?
Yeah, he's
policy hold, like owner or
Like who-
insured?
Insured. What's the difference?
Ooh,
Like for me, for
Here we
example,
go.
what am I?
You're both.
I'm both.
You're the owner and the insured.
Ooh,
Oh, okay, I got
Right?
you.
So there's
I got
an owner,
You. I
there's
got
an
you.
insured,
the owner
there's
of
a
the
beneficiary.
assets,
I got
right? And
you.
then the covered entity, my
Insured.
life.
I got you.
Got
That
it.
makes
Okay,
sense.
cool.
So
reason that's
who is your youngest insured?
So the youngest insured was mine, which is 1 year old. The youngest policy owner was his, who is 18 years old.
Okay.
And he said it was pretty much, it's really, when you understand that it's an asset and you treat it as such,
Yeah.
then like it's not surprising.
Yeah.
I know 15, 10-year-olds
Who can
with
understand.
savings account understand that, this is an asset
Yeah.
that I could just put money aside
Exactly.
and save it for a rainy day, or save it up, or
Yeah.
use it for a business or for college later.
Exactly. And it's growing at a much lower rate.
Yeah, in a savings account for sure.
Ridiculous.
0.01%
So if you're not
of
doing
Chase.
a high yield or a life insurance policy, like you're
Even-
literally doing the same action, just put in a different bucket that
Yeah.
does more
Yeah,
work.
that's-
Even
wow.
even
You know?
even if we talk in high yield, like people don't even understand, like, when we start talking about using life insurance as an asset, it's not just that it grows at a guaranteed rate that far outperforms any savings account you could lay your hands on. That's not really the power.
Slight flex on his work. Slight flex on his line of work.
That's not the power behind it. The power behind it is the way to leverage your dollar. All right, banks. We're following banks, and that's what he's mentioned several times. We're just taking a page out of the bank's books.
Exactly.
And I think this goes into the question asking what family banking is.
Let's talk about it.
But it's the ability to leverage that dollar, because if you have a high yield savings, it don't matter. It could be giving you 15%. Cool. If something happens, you got to take money out. You are taking that money. It's gone. You can't leverage that dollar in several places. It's gone. Now, how much? If $0 grows at 15%, how much is that? Zero.
Yeah, zero.
So that's null and void, right? Whereas in a life insurance policy, you're able to leverage that. You're able to take policy loans. Loans are clicking at a way lower percentage from what you're earning. So you're still always earning, and that earnings is what's growing.
I mean, debt is cheap. True. So certain types of debt is cheap.
That ability to transfer that interest, that's where the power is.
Yeah.
Like, you're recapturing lost interest costs.
Facts.
That opportunity cost. Sometimes it costs more to not have something.
Yeah.
Like the ability,
Sheesh. Hold on.
Yeah, no, go ahead and put one of those.
That's one. That's the one.
Like, the cost behind having a life insurance is way less than the cost behind not having one. It's way less.
Okay.
I mean, it's the same thought process of not having a car insurance.
Exactly.
Like
even beyond, I'm not even just talking about risk.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm talking let's compare a high yield savings that's unbelievably high.
Yeah.
And compare it to a basic life insurance whole life policy. Right? Not basic, but basic with a mutual company.
Yeah.
Right? And now let's say you're earning, even if it's 3%, and then the high yield is earning 10.
Okay.
It's still more valuable. Mainly because of that leverage.
Because of what you can do with it. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's not about the return on the money. It's about the return of the money, right? That's really the key. That's really the key there, because I mean, let's do a math equation. I remember when I heard this math for the first time.
Okay.
And it blew my mind.
Yeah.
Right. Say we have $100. And
I got you.
let's say we have $100, and I hope I don't mess this one up. And we earn 10% on that $100.
100 times 10%. Okay.
Then we lose.
So now you're at 100. Now you're at $110.
Okay.
Then we lose 9%.
No, you're doing it wrong. All right, so
you're done.
Then we lose 10%.
So
he didn't cut off my wisdom.
Sorry, I sure did. It's $100, lose 10%, then gain 10%.
Okay. So you lose 10%, so that's 90.
90.
Gain and then 10%. You gain 10% on the 90?
Yes. You're not at 100 again.
You're at
99.
Right, you're at 99. 99? Yeah.
So
99.
what was your average interest rate?
So 99.
You gained 10% and you lost 10%. What's your average?
I wasn't good at this type of math, so I'm gonna let
0.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that makes sense. Plus minus.
But what is your real interest rate?
Negative
1.
-1, yeah.
Yes.
Right? So
yes.
average and real.
You went down 1%.
When you look at the real interest rate of things, because a lot of people look at a lot of things that are out there, and the only thing that we're looking at is the return on the money, average return.
Okay.
It's supposed to do this. It's supposed to.
Yeah.
But when you look at the real return, right?
Yes.
We live in real life, guys.
Exactly. Different picture.
You're gonna have to take that money out eventually, and when you take it out, that's when it matters.
No, that makes sense.
What happened during those times?
Yeah,
it was an average of 10, but what's the real growth?
That makes sense.
Right.
It's not
-1%.
Yeah.
Now I got an issue.
Now
Yeah,
there's a problem.
because you scale that over time, 1% adds up.
Yeah.
-1% is gonna add up.
Yeah.
Do that. This was $100. Imagine it being 100,000
With inflation.
With inflation, gas prices, eggs.
Yeah,
We were talking about eggs.
Even going into the other question about like what we could do to prepare for economic downturns.
Yeah.
Like, you do not want to have all your eggs into baskets that the government controls.
No.
You do not want to have all your eggs into baskets that are regulated or are affected by the market. That's in such a crazy place right now. I mean, it's important to diversify.
Yeah.
But you need a good amount of eggs into stuff that you control, that you have the say so about, that you are able to manipulate the interest for and return that lost interest cost back to you. So preparation, that's really what goes into